Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 80 of the hunt today. I had to let that cutscene play out. My god, that was gorgeous. Today we are hunting a new Frontier exclusive Elder Dragon, Doo Fua, who is just so cool to look at. And again, I've said this in other videos before, but if there's one thing you can say about Frontier monsters, is that they know how to make an entrance. The intro cutscene, the fact that this dude flies into the arena and immediately starts doing his super move. Like, I'm pretty sure they position you in a way that if you just stand still, you're fine. They just want to show you what this thing can do, but I really like the idea of a monster that the second you walk in, it nukes the hell out of you and you're done. Alright, so Doo Fua himself is an Elder Dragon, very similar to Alatreon in its build and style. I'm assuming this was added probably late into Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate's lifetime when they had the skeleton on file and all that stuff. I don't think this was around before Alatreon existed, but very similar to Alatreon, it is a master of 3 different elements. It controls fire, ice, and water, and when they are combined, the game calls it the Frozen Seraphim element, or just Okiko in the weapon screens. I'm assuming because they could not fit Frozen Seraphim. But most of the time, he uses just ice and fire. I didn't see a whole lot of water in this hunt, but you'll see there's also just a lot going on in this fight. There's a lot to watch out for. Particle effects flying everywhere, this guy flying everywhere, big bombastic attacks that'll knock you on your ass if you're not careful. This fight, I've talked about it a lot, but like the G-rank fights really seem like they're leaning into the MMO inspiration a lot. This really does feel like something I would have seen in Final Fantasy XIV. Like, this would feel right at home as like an extreme trial. Just with how many mechanics there are, how big the like AoE areas are that you have to get in and out of. But this fight is so fun. It is incredibly engaging, and you are on your toes the entire time, and if you get good with, like, reading where he's going to be and reading his attacks and stuff like that, it's very rewarding to be able to just, like, get in and out, do some damage, avoid being blasted by ice, fire, and, I guess, water somewhere. Again, didn't really see it. But man, this fight's cool. In terms of aesthetics, I don't know how I feel about the way this thing looks. It looks very standard dragon, in skeleton. And it does some cool things. Like, I like the bright white contrasting the red of its underbelly. But in general, I don't have a whole lot to say about his aesthetics. I think he's fine. I think he's a neat looking creature, but nothing really stands out to me as like super amazing looking aside from one part at the end of the fight that I'll talk about in a little bit. The most visually striking aesthetic thing that this thing does is change the arena. When you hit, I'm guessing, half health, he goes into a phase 2 and the arena around him starts to shift. And you see, like, the sky goes red, the seas around you go red, meteors are falling from the sky. It is this just, like, grand cinematic spectacle of a phase transition, and I think that's where Doo Fua shines. In addition to an aspect of his lore that I'm going to talk about now, I'm going to talk about the end of the fight, even though you're not going to see it for a little bit. Doo Fua is one of a couple monsters in Frontier, I think, that end the fight themselves. Doo Fua is so much of a like power overwhelming type monster that it loses control of its elements, and at the end of the fight, after you do enough damage, it tries to go for like one big final nova and ends up freezing itself to death. It is the most unique monster end animation that I have ever seen in Monster Hunter. I love it. The first time I saw it, I saw the animation start to play out, and I thought we were going for phase 3. I was not expecting the hunt to be done, in part because I wasn't playing with headphones in, so I wasn't hearing the victory music going off. But I was like, oh, okay, phase 3, he's getting crystally, and then he just stayed there, and I was like, oh no. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he did that to himself. Oh no. And I really liked that. I thought that was a really cool way to end the fight, and the fact that you still get to carve him when he is in his like ice sculpture form, that's cool. That's really neat. I want to see Capcom do more of that kind of stuff with monster animations in future games. Give us more unique end screens. In terms of returning in Wilds, I don't know. He's hard to judge. Because he's so unique and because he's very much an MMO style fight, I'm leaning on the no, we're not going to see him for a while side of things. I'm going to say like maybe a 3-ish, like kind of in the middle, because I could see him coming back and I want to see him come back, maybe with like a bit of a rework like they did with Elatrion from Monster Hunter World. I could see him kind of fitting that same design space as Elatrion in World did. But as he is right now, I don't think we're going to see him for a bit. So I'm also going to say around a 3 for returning in a future non-Wilds game as well. I really like this fight, though. His armor and weapons look cool, too, so I'm going to try and make those, even though, like, something I'm realizing with Frontier that I've found I'm not a big fan of is, and this is kind of what I've been seeing online, too, is it seems like there is a 100% best option. And if you're not using the 100% best weapon, you're kind of, hobbling yourself a little bit. But I like to make the weapons and armor that look cool and that are neat for me to use and are from monsters that I like. So I'm going to continue to play the game suboptimally until such point where I can no longer do that. I'm going to be wrapping up the ramble here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Stick around until the end of the fight if you can. This time, I really, really highly encourage you to do so, because the end of the fight is so cool. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. And until next time, I'll see you next time.